Welcome to the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investing Show, where I interview the nation's top real estate entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and other amazing entrepreneurs to help educate and inspire you to take your business and your life to the next level. My goal is to add tremendous value to you during every single episode of this show. If you get value, I'd love it if you subscribe on your favorite podcast player, subscribe on YouTube, and my very favorite, please share this with your community so we can impact even more entrepreneurs. Let's start today's show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm excited to have my buddy Beyond Wynn on the show with me today. We haven't talked in a while, but he's been somebody that you should have your eye on too, by the way. He's doing amazing things, really impacting a lot of people. By the way, he's been a real estate investor for 34 years, a long time. And we're going to talk a lot about that today, kind of building the long game and all the things he's doing, from working with his family to dominating just one market. He's not trying to go all over the country and get attracted by shiny objects of the next county over, the next county over, the next market over. But Beyond, super excited to have you here with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited as well.
Yeah, it's been too long, my friend. Yep. Hey, so tell us a little bit about your background. You've got a rich background, a lot of experience for sure. And I think if you give us the context of who you are and kind of where you operate and some of the things that have gotten you here, it'll make more sense when we talk about some of these next things.
Well, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. My first exposure to real estate was as a kid when I was maybe about 7 or 8 years old. I used to work with my grandfather and my uncles. My grandfather used to build houses, so he had a construction company. So I used to work with them as a kid. I hated it because I hated getting dirty, and I didn't feel like they paid me enough. But that was my first exposure to real estate. In my early teenage years, as I experienced turbulence at home, I kind of got caught up in the streets and gangs and different things like that. Went to detention home, state prison. After that, I decided that I was going to divorce the streets and focus on the legitimate skill set that I had learned as a kid. But I didn't want to do any work. I wanted to put the properties together. I wanted to run crews and flip houses and do that whole thing. So I had a friend that was in the real estate business. He introduced me to his mentor, which was a real estate broker. And he kind of took me under his wing. And he didn't talk a lot. He basically told me if I was serious, I needed to have X amount of dollars so we could find a house. And he was going to teach me from buying a house, putting a crew together, all the way to the closing table. And so that's what we did for my first deal. I remember it like yesterday. And once I closed the first deal, I had the check in my pocket for like a month. I didn't believe that the real estate was real. That you could make
cash that thing, man.
Yeah, I wanted to show my friends that it was real, so they can make better changes and decisions with their life. So that was my entry to real estate.
And how old is that? Were you 17 then?
Yeah, I was 17 when I first bought my first property, and I moved into that property. My grandfather and uncle's rehab that property. And then shortly after that, I went on a state sabbatical. So after the state sabbatical, 17, 18, after the sabbatical, I came home. I did my first fix and flip when I was 20.
Yeah. So 34 years in business is a long time, man. I mean, it's interesting because I was just talking, did a show with somebody else here recently, and they kept referring to me as an old head, like, oh, you're like the old wise one. I'm like, you've been doing it for twice as long as me almost. So good stuff, man. There's so many lessons, and I'm going to try to pull some of this out of you today, but let's talk a little bit about kind of working with your family. So I know that's one of the things that you focus a lot on is working with your kids. And my son, you wouldn't know this because we haven't talked about, my son is now 17. And let's just say he needs to go work for somebody else for a little while before we can work together, because he doesn't do anything that mom and dad say. But that'll change at some point. But just talk about the importance of that, because I know that's part of your legacy, is being able to pass those skills on to a lot of people, including obviously your family members.
Yeah. So the first thing is, when I think of legacy, I think I see it from a different standpoint than most people see legacy. I hear people saying that they're going to build something special and then give it to their kids. Well, when I was growing up, I seen people build something special and give it to their kids, but their kids didn't understand business. They didn't like business. And so what happened was their parents built something special, gave it to them, and in 5 years or less, they had lost everything. And so remembering that, I was like, that's not legacy to me. So I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
said legacy to me is I build it with them. If I build it with them, if they go with me to look at properties, walk through properties, they go with me to the title company, to Home Depot, to the bank. If they do those things with me, they will never be able to unsee those things. And if something happens to me, they will always remember the plays that we ran together. And when they have kids, they're going to do the exact same thing. So to me, that's legacy.
Yeah.
So when my kids were, 5, 6, 7 years old, I would take them with me to look at houses. Uh, they hated it, all except one kid. My oldest son, he would always go in the house with me. The rest of the kids was in the car whining and complaining. But Brian, my oldest son, he would walk through the houses with me. So when I seen he took an interest, I got excited. And so I was like, I'm going to start teaching him. So what I would do is we pull up to a house, we get out, and I would teach them how to take inventory, aka just identify everything that's wrong. No numbers, just identify everything that's wrong. So we pull up to a property, we're looking at the landscape, roof, gutters, windows, side and porch, driveway, garage, go inside of the property, looking at the foundation, electrical, plumbing, heating, kitchen, bath, living room, dining room, bedroom. So we did that a bunch of times. And so then I would pull up to a house and I would tell him, give him a pen and pad. I said, no, go take inventory. Tell me everything that's wrong with the house. So after we did that a few times, he got great at identifying everything that needed to be done from exterior, interior, room by room. After he got that down pat, I showed him how to put the numbers to it. After I went through it with him a couple of times, I let him go in. I said, now tell me how much it's going to cost to rehab this property. Then after he got that, like he had it. And so fast forward, he started to work with me for free when he was around 18. He started to work with me for free because he had to show me that it was serious.
Right.
And so he worked with me for free. And I seen he was showing up and he was excited. And so then I started to pay him to project manage. He started to allocate his finances and take great care of his money. So as he continued to do that, as I started to get more opportunities, I would let him go in with me 50-50 on opportunities. And so that's how he got his start. And so the other kids, they wasn't really attracted to me doing it. Once Brian started to get checks, the other kids started to follow Brian. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how do you, with your kids now, like, I'm just curious, are they actually they're kind of, I mean, they don't have role. I mean, I don't know, how do I say this? Are they doing specific things in your business, like a marketing manager and operations manager? Or they're all kind of doing the same thing and they're doing everything, but you're helping support them and kind of get them off the ground?
So right now, I do my own thing. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
We still do some deals together.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my oldest son, Brian, my youngest son, Aaron, and my oldest daughter, Brittany, they partner together. So they do fix and flips. They do auction properties. Like Brittany's great at finding auction deals. And so they partner together, whether buying properties and holding for their rental portfolio or doing fix and flips.
Yeah. And do they get along better as adults now running this business? I'm not saying that they didn't get along as kids, but I know a lot of kids are not necessarily, great friends. They might like fight, sibling rivalries, stuff like that. But do they get along better as adults now, or?
They get along great.
Yeah.
They get along great. Yes.
That's good.
They get along great.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So where does it go from here? At some point, you're going to just completely pass the torch, you think, or?
No, I never think about retiring or like. So that's why it was so important for me to build with them hands on, so they can have it, so they can create something special. Because I don't see retiring hanging my jersey up in the Raptors. Like, I'm a ball till it's over with.
Yeah,
I'm standing on the field till it's over.
I talk about it all the time. Like, as long as you love what you're doing, man, there's no reason to ever stop. I mean, so yeah.
I don't see stopping.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I mean, you've been in your market for a long time, and I think that a lot of folks, it's easy for them to think the grass is greener somewhere
Mhm.
else. They move from houses into land or multifamily or something else, right? They just,
Mhm.
I do say we're in the opportunity business, but entrepreneurs often get shiny object syndrome. And you've been doing a lot of the same things for over 30 years, right? And so talk about, not only have you taught your kids how to do it, I know you've had a big impact on your community, but you also coach and teach other people how to do this as well. And I mean, can you share approximately how many deals you think you've been a part of? I mean, I know it's a lot.
Um, it's hundreds. Uh, it's funny. I thought about that earlier. Like this may be one of the questions. I just know it's hundreds of deals.
Yeah, I'm sure. Over
Yeah,
34
it's
years. Yeah.
hundreds. Yeah,
Yeah.
hundreds of retail flips, hundreds of turnkey flips, and hundreds of wholesale deals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about just kind of like how to dominate your market over a long period of time and how to kind of, proverbially play the long game. Like you're just all in for a long period of time.
The first thing is you being a product of the product, whatever it is that you're talking about. People need to be able to look at you, your journey, how you operate, how you talk online, offline. They need to be able to see everything that you talk about. You need to be impeccable with your word. You need to be known for the person that does what they say they're gonna do. And so that's that's the foundation. Like being intentional about building and maintaining great relationships. I think that's been my key to success. My business was built off relationships. When people talk real estate in Cleveland, Ohio, my name come up like anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Because I'm known for keeping my word. I'm known for, like, if I can't do something, I'm gonna tell you I can't do it. Like that's the key. Because when I think about strategies, real estate strategies, marketing strategies, they change all the time. Companies are always looking for different strategies. But when you think about relationships, you never have to switch that strategy. When you're intentional about building and maintaining great relationships,
Yeah.
being a man or woman of your word, like you never have to change that strategy, because as you continue to do that, the same person that will invest in you or with you on a single family home, and you do what you say you're going to do, the same people will invest with you and in you, a strip mall, an island, hotel, and it will just multiply. You become known as that person, and it's a shortage of individuals that do business like that.
Yeah.
And so I've always stood on my word, and that's like, so it's nothing else that has like really been like the key to my success. Everything else it play a part, but being a man of my word, being known for doing what I say I'm going to do, that's been everything. Like that's how I get most of my deals. That's why people want to partner with me on deals, because they know, like, he said he was going to do this and he did it. He said he was going to split it 50-50 and he did it. Like, so that's the best piece of advice that I can give anybody that's interested in the real estate game or in the real estate game. Keep your word, no matter what. It ain't gonna always be cute all the time. It's gonna be turbulence. It's gonna be obstacles, but keep your word.
Yeah, that's great. I think there's something that I hope you can share with us, is just like your fortitude to stick with it, because there's a lot of people that, in 34 years, you've seen several market cycles and plenty of opportunities to say, you know what, I'm done or whatever, right? There's a lot of people that start in real estate investing, or anything, by the way, and they do it for a few years, and then they kind of hit this point where it gets hard. It could be a market cycle change. It could be that just they got to a point to where it's hard to kind of bust through that ceiling. But you have to become, a lot of times you just have to become a better leader. Like you got to figure out how to break through that barrier, right? So it's been easy for a lot of people to say, well, I'm going to jump into crypto now, or I'm going to jump into some other asset class, or I'm going to go jump into something else, right? Because that seems easier. And by the way, that will be easier for a couple of years, and then you're going to hit that ceiling again, and it's going to get hard. And so you and I both know the people that stick with something for a long period of time, especially like you have, is that, yeah, this is hard, but I need to break through to the next level. I need to ride out this storm in a bad, cycle or whatever it is. So share some lessons with kind of how to dominate over a long period of time, when you've probably seen more people come and go than you even know that are in the business right now. You've seen a ton of people come and go, I'm sure,
Absolutely.
because I have too. Like, what? Just tell us how your mind works to kind of keep going forward during adverse times, because you know the best times are always ahead.
So the first thing when you're thinking about dominating anything, you have to first commit to being a student of the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat. When you think about dominating anything, if you want to dominate anything, you first have to commit to becoming a student of the game. When I first got in the game, in the real estate game, I didn't commit to becoming a student to the game. I was committed to getting paid by all means necessary. So the person that you see and hear talking today, it wasn't the same person that started when he was 17. When I started when I was 17, I wasn't thinking about relationships. I was greedy. I was wanting to get paid by all means necessary. I was half doing rehabs. Um, my rental properties, they just had Band-Aids on them. I was the property manager because I didn't want to pay anybody. And what happened was I wasn't trying to be a student of the game. I wasn't trying to learn learn the game. I wasn't committed to the game. I just wanted to get paid. So what happened was when the market changed, I didn't know that the real estate had cycles. Because again, I wasn't trying to be a student of the guys who want to get paid. So at the time, you can do 110% refinancing. That sounds great to me. So I'll half do the properties, max the properties out. And so just imagine, okay, you got 20 plus properties. You maxed them all out. You have done all of the work. You, the property manager, tenants moving in and out, and then the real estate market crash. I mean, AKA correct itself.
Right.
Now the property's not worth what I paid for them. The money coming in don't pay the mortgage. I started to look sad, started to feel depressed. I wanted to quit. I was blaming everybody except the man in the mirror. Once I got done whining and complaining and blaming everybody else except the person that was responsible, it helped me get clear once I decided to accept responsibility for being greedy, for being a horrible landlord, for half doing work. I got tears in my eyes because the truth hurt, but it can set you free.
Yeah.
But the truth hurts. When I looked in the mirror, it's like, you the problem. It's not the tenants. It's not the contractors. You the problem, and you greedy. And so once I had the conversation with myself, and I was like, listen, you can't expect to get paid from your rental properties if you have doing the work and you let anybody move in. You can't depend on that income. Right. You crazy to think that you could depend on that. And so after I had that conversation, I committed to putting properties together the way I would if I was going to move in it. I also committed to having a team. Individuals play the game, but teams win championships. I was committed to cutting up the money and paying the team. I was committed to keeping my word and only doing good business. Once I did that, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me. Once I looked in the mirror and accepted responsibility for where my life was at, where my real estate business was at, where my bank account was at, and then I came up with a solution. And it was real simple. Put the properties together the way you would if you had to live in it. Hire a team. Like, you focus on what you're great at and pay the experts to be experts at what they experts at. And that's the long term recipe.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get started are very transactional, right? They just go from one deal to the next deal to the next deal. And those relationships, it's kind of funny because you and I are about the same age. So, and haven't been doing it quite as long as you, but I value relationships now more than anything. Like, there's nothing in life that I do that's alone anymore. It's all some sort of collaboration with people.
Right.
And it's been relationships built over, a long period of time that allows you to kind of realize how much it's kind of crazy, especially when you're just operating in Cleveland, like how much relationships can come back around that you haven't seen this person, even like you and I, we haven't talked in several years, but I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it feels like it's like two old friends getting together, right? And so you never know where those relationships are going to come back in your business, especially for people that are operating in one market.
Yeah.
So talk about what do you do to nurture those relationships? I mean, I know you say you always do the right thing, but can you share any tips on what you do to nurture those relationships to make them more impactful over time?
I think I think it still this boils down to like who don't want to pick up the phone uh, when the person on the other end has done everything that they said they was going to do. It's always refreshing to catch up, like how we catch up. Like we catching up, you
Yeah.
know. We ain't talking 5 years, so I have a bunch of relationships that's the same way. Like like great people are always excited to reconnect with great people, whether we talk every day, whether we talk once a month or once a year. I
Yeah.
think just keeping your word that keeps relationships great, where people ain't got to try to figure out like an angle, knowing that it's no angle, knowing that it's genuine, knowing that we good whether we do business or not. I think a lot of people go wrong because it's just focused on the business. That means the money, what somebody can do for them or offer. But when it's just genuine and the business is a byproduct, like that's a win-win. And so I always approach relationships like that. Like when I meet somebody that has great energy, I don't care whether we do business or not. The business is the bonus,
Yeah.
but it's just always refreshing to just be connected with great people.
Yeah.
And money and opportunities are the byproduct of great people, great relationships, great energy.
Yep.
Everything else follows that. I think most of the world got it backwards. They think I'm gonna get the money and then I'm gonna start keeping my word. No, you never gonna get the money. You just gonna have the money for the weekend.
Yeah, it's also great to be. I know, I know you do this, and this is something I focus a lot on too. Is being a connector of just like connecting people that should know each other, right? Especially
Right.
in your market. Like when I never wanted to share my GC with anybody, but if I
Hmm.
share like my window guy or a roofer or somebody that I'm not keeping busy full time anyway with other people, like anytime I needed anything from those people, they would like drop everything and come help me, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some tips that you would share with, whether it's, I guess, brand new investors? We have a lot of more experienced people listening to this show too, or
Mhm.
just people that have been in the business for a while. Like, what are some tips that you can share with people for how to, have a bigger impact in your market? I mean, I know we've talked about a bunch of it, just kind of doing the right thing here, but what are some other tips you can share with people on how to, I mean, gosh, how to have a 34-year legacy you're building here? A lot of people are have not been in the game for nearly that long. Like, what are some tips you could share?
Um. Again, go back. Go back to word.
Yeah.
Like keeping your word, being known. Being known for the person to keep their word because everybody is uh, looking to connect with good people. Like so keep your word. And then when you talk about connecting, um, like being a connector, like if you see a good fit for somebody, like just connect them and get out the way. A lot of people feel like they got to be in the way. Most of the time you don't have to be in the way, and whatever's supposed to come back to you, it will come back to you. It may not be from that situation, but be a connector. um, look to look to add value first before you're trying to get something from somebody. Look to add value. Always look to add value. Always. What else? Um, let's just do good. I mean, do good business. I don't think it's no secrets like to being a good
Yeah.
person and treating people how you want to be treated. Um, and and if you don't know something, say that you don't know. Uh, tell the whole story, even if it may not benefit you. When I'm talking to people as it pertains to buying properties and I hear their story, I tell people this may not be a good fit for you. Where most people are going to sell, like no, this may not be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the time to dedicate to this one, this may not be a good fit for you. Um, and so I practice doing that, and it's like as a byproduct, like I continue to get great referrals and do a lot of business. Again, like I said, when most people is trying to sell them, I tell like this not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Like there's like I'm not in the convincing business. Like you tell me your story, your situation, and I'm gonna give you the best advice that I can possibly give you.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, Beyond, if folks want to connect with you, by the way, if you're not following Beyond on social media, you need to be. He's been doing he's been doing a lot of amazing things for years, honestly. And I know it's a big commitment, but if you're not following Beyond, you should be. But if folks want to connect with you or follow you, where do they go?
On Instagram and Facebook, my full name, Beyond, Beyond, Wynn, Wynn, on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. We'll put the links down below there. So thanks for sharing some insights with us today. Always great to see you, buddy.
Very welcome.
It's been way too long.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Everybody, I think at the end of the day, like you got into this business most likely to build something special. And, it's just always do the right thing. Always kind of don't be transactional. I think about the long term of that relationship or where that could go, and just generally do the right thing. And you're going to have an amazing career as well. So
absolutely,
with plenty of opportunities. So awesome. Well, Beyond, thanks again, buddy. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Peace.
have a great day. We'll see you on the next show. Thanks for joining us for today's show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing on your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. You can also check out the show's notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and even how to work with me directly one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you on the next show.